Thunderbolts with an asterisk. There's obviously already a lot of spoilers out for it. I will be talking about the movie kind of in depth on Friday Night Tights a little bit later with my review. I was able to watch it this morning, right after I woke up, shockingly, from the comfort of my own couch. So I was able to see it. I don't know if this is going to move the needle for anyone, honestly. I just don't know if this is going to do it, if this is going to be the thing. We've been told over and over again, just like we're told over and over again with every Marvel movie that comes out, that the next Marvel movie is the best since Endgame. Yes. It's a return to form. It's what the MCU has been missing. I don't know if that's the case for Thunderbolts. It's full of characters that a lot of people aren't super invested in, that are all kind of outcasts and all have their own problems going on. They're all depressed. They all hate their lives. And the way they save the day, Jay, is by telling each other that they're there for them and by listening to their feelings and understanding each other. And that not by like fighting a big bad, but instead by getting mental health is pretty much how this movie goes. And, you know, looking at some of the projections that we had coming in, it didn't look like there was a lot of interest. It was projected 70 to 75. Some places had it up closer to $80 million opening weekend, which would be less than Captain Black America Brave New World, which just flopped horrifically at the box office, by the way. And with the global numbers factored in, it was expected 160 to 175 Black Widow or Eternals numbers. Again, if it falls somewhere in between Black Widow and Eternals and Captain America Brave New World, that is a massive failure and a flop for Marvel. But this is where we are. We do not have official numbers yet for the Thursday previews, but right now, based on the analysis of what we saw late last night, they think it's going to be an $11 million Thursday night, which again is $1 million below Captain America Brave New World. And depending on where you look right now, like if you look at China, it's the MCU's lowest opening in China they've ever had, basically, in this era. So it's struggling in China. Some places in Europe, it's doing well. Like I can give you some examples here. In France, debuted at number 1, but it's the second lowest opening day, just lower than the Marvels. So everything else is above it, from Shang-Chi to Black Widow to all this other shit. But in Japan, it's doing well. So you got some places it's overperforming, some places it's significantly underperforming. I think we're looking at like an $80 million weekend, a little more than $80 million weekend here, 170, 180 maybe million dollars worldwide. And it's just another thing that they spent way too much money on that in all likelihood no one's really going to show up to, and it's going to be another failure for them. And this is the lead up to Avengers Doomsday.
I also heard that the end credit scene, I haven't seen it, the end credit scene is like a spoiler, like they kind of messed up. It's like a spoiler for Fantastic Four.
It's not a mess up. That's a tease to get you to go watch Fantastic Four. Like,
okay, but it kind of spoils their movie, possibly.
I suppose it depends.
I don't know. I haven't seen. That's why I'm asking. I don't want to give it away or talk about it, but it's just I mean, that's what I saw on like Twitter, that people were like, "Oh man, the end credit scene just gave away the Fantastic Four film, the ending of the Fantastic Four film." It's like, huh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's not a mess up. They clearly meant to do that to try to get people invested and interested in Fantastic. But also, the Fantastic Four are all cast to be in Avengers Doomsday. The Thunderbolts that survived are all cast to be in Avengers Doomsday. They've already spoiled those, if you want to get explicit with it. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's more of a setup to get you to want to watch it than it is a they spoiled it type of thing, because I don't think anyone thought they weren't going to survive. But look, this is definitely Black Widow Yelena's movie. Red Guardian is a big dummy. John Walker is played off as a joke for most of the time. Bucky's in it a little bit. Sentry could be a freaking phenomenal villain or a phenomenal character, period, right? He could have been like this phenomenal villain in this movie, but ultimately they have one fight scene with him and then they just have to help him with his mental health problems. And that's how they win. I just don't know, man.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that's real. I can't believe that. Help him with his mental health. Oh, man. I don't know what to say. That's wild, man.
But look, if this thing does, because right now it's tracking below Captain Black New America, Brave New World clusterfuck, tracking below that and above something like Eternals. So if we look at those, you're talking about a movie that's going to be again in this $400 million territory. It's another financial failure and it's another embarrassment. And this is a movie that's supposed to lead directly into their next big thing. But we'll see. Maybe people feel better about it. I actually think it's a better movie than Captain America by like a decent margin. But I just like, I'm not saying it's good or anything, but I just don't think it's as bad as Captain America Brave New World.
So this is a movie about Sentry being depressed and they have to help cure his depression.
Jay, this is a movie about Sentry being depressed, about Yelena being depressed, about Red Guardian being depressed, about John Walker being depressed, about Ghost being depressed. This is a movie about a bunch of people who are broken and struggling and lonely, and they come together for each other to help each other.
Yeah, I was wanting this. I might skip that. I'm sure there'll be clips online eventually of everything. And so it's a giant 2-hour therapy session. And what's what it sounds like. I hear they get a name change too. That's why there's the asterisk.
Asterisk.
So there's no longer the Thunderbolts.
The whole thing is the Thunderbolts are named after Yelena's fucking like kindergarten soccer team.
Okay.
But should I just say it? Like, it's out there. These spoilers are out there. I'm gonna say what it is. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Valentina, Julia Louis-Dreyfus character. She's really like the antagonist of this movie, and I think it's fucking pathetic. I don't give a shit about her character, basically. But at the end, she had planned to have all the Thunderbolts killed and wanted Sentry to be a hero. They had to like, he was going to kill everybody like in the world, basically. So they had to, get inside his mind and say, we're there for you, buddy. Don't worry. We'll all get through this together. And at the very end, she kind of tricks them into coming out for this press conference to announce that they are the new Avengers. So they're the new Avengers.
Wow.
And the post-credit scene is 14 months later and them dealing with they're living in Avengers Tower, but a lot of people don't think they are the Avengers. Sam Wilson is currently suing over the naming rights. Red Guardian throws we could be Avengers with a Z. It's all kind of cringe.
That's rough. You know what you mind if I remove this real quick after I did it without even asking you? You know what we should be all going to the theater to see this weekend and celebrate? Avengers: The Kang Dynasty was supposed to open this weekend. Man, I was excited. Weren't you, Ryan? You were excited. We were all excited for the Avengers film that never happened, that once was, that could have been, that maybe would have changed the game. Maybe this was the movie that was supposed to just be the end of all movies.
Bro, they were so excited. They're like, look, we got this great new actor. His name's Jonathan Majors. He's going to be Kang. And then not only, look, personally, it's kind of like with the NFL, right? If you're talented enough, if you bring the people out there, if you can help the team, you can have a lot of problems. They'll still keep you on. You could choke a bitch. You can slam her up against the wall, whatever. They'll still find a way to keep you on. Jonathan Majors, regardless of all the legal stuff and his probably roid rage problems and him choking it and admitting to all of these things, by the way, it's not like he admitted to doing this. So for all those people that are like, how dare you miss me with it? He admitted to doing it. But he should have been fired because he gave such a bad performance and no one gave a shit about his character. That's what Jonathan Majors should have been fired for. But yeah, the Kang thing, that's just going to be a loose end, man. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Just recast.
I think they'll wait till AI becomes even better and they'll just say, here's the Kang movie we're going to give you, but never did. All done in AI.
Yeah, I do think there's some like in Thunderbolts, I think there's some moments that are, to me, the best moment of the movie is kind of close to the end when a lot of them, they failed going up against Sentry. It didn't work. Sentry kind of turns into Void and is just snapping people out of existence. They all feel like they've really failed and that they're fucking losers and they can never be heroes, blah, blah, blah. And then the city starts kind of getting destroyed as he's snapping people out of existence. Helicopters are falling down, buildings are getting hit, stuff is falling, and all of them in a different way go and save somebody. And, just because they felt it was the right thing to do. So they save all these people, they work together, and they get like cheers, right? In New York, these guys get cheers. And that's kind of what gives Valentina the idea to call them the new Avengers. Like there were some like okay moments like that, but the entire principle that you set all of this entire thing up and you have all these broken people who are struggling, I think it's actually going to be appealing to a certain number of people out there who are perpetually like victims themselves and think that their lives aren't worth anything. Maybe that's maybe that's the crowd they're going after. I don't know. But yeah, there was a nice little moment between Yelena and Red Guardian, in between the stupid cringe dumb moments where everyone acts retarded. But overall, I just don't think this is gonna turn the needle.
So did Sentry join them to form the new Avengers at the end?
Yes.
That's what I figured.
But his name's Bob.
Yeah, is Reynolds, right?
Robert Reynolds, maybe.
Sentry and the Void together.
But he doesn't remember anything that happened. So again, they had to tell him that they're going to be there for him and that it'll all be okay and that they'll all get through this together. What everybody likes to go to the theater to see, right? People working through their mental health issues. That's what people want out of their superhero movies.